Welcome, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Okay, come on, smile. You guys, aren't you like really, really excited to be here tonight? I am really excited about these calls. So, for anybody who maybe hasn't been on this call or anybody who is a guest, we decided a few weeks ago as the Building Depth Leadership Group, you guys all know that we do a Building Depth call the first and the third Tuesday of every single month at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. The first one is the topics call, the second one is the circles call. Well, we decided were you guys a part of March Madness? When we were doing opportunity calls every night, was that not amazing? And we were getting to hear from a rotation of all of the different Building Depth executives, which it added so much value, so much value. And what I loved most about that too is that we're all sharing the same information, but with our own personality, right? We're all authentic. It looks a little bit different from everybody, but it's the same information, which is your story, the company's story, and how to get paid. And so we decided that we were going to add on the second and fourth Tuesday. So thank you for being here because this is our second one on the second and fourth Tuesday of every single month at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I hope that's a little better for all of you on the East Coast. That two of the Tuesdays are at 7. Rob and Summer are like, yes, we get it now. We're here. Like, this is nice. So this one, it's gonna be totally different from the other calls. So this one, what it's gonna be is we're going to have somebody from the Building Depth Leadership do an opportunity meeting. So it's going to be mixed up. There will be somebody different every single time. And then at the end of that, you're going to hear about the onboarding process, which is how to get somebody started. So welcome to everybody on the call. Welcome to all the guests on the call. You are so lucky if you're a guest on this call, because not only are you going to hear this information, be ready to sign up 100%, then we're going to show you exactly what you need to do to get started and show you the simple system of how easy this is. Okay, it's not easy, it's simple. This isn't easy, but how simple this is to get started and how anybody can do it, you guys. It doesn't matter who you are, everybody is capable of this. And so now I get to introduce the best one finger texter. If you guys weren't on the beginning of the call, you didn't hear that, but that was pretty funny, right? But this man, I don't know. I'm going to introduce both of them because I really don't know what's happening in their world or who's doing what. But I get to introduce two people that I met 6.5 years ago. Summer Smollack shared this information with me. She drove through a snowstorm. She shared this with me. I'm so thankful. She could have not shown up. She could have turned around because I don't know if I would have wanted to drive through a snowstorm with a 1-year-old in my back seat. She showed up anyway and she shared the whole story, and I caught the vision and I saw the vision of what this could do, that I could impact people in a bigger way, that I could help people in a bigger way than what I was doing as a registered nurse. And I saw an opportunity to get time back in my life. I took a leap of faith and I jumped all in. Rob and Summer have walked by my side through this whole process the entire time. When I call them, most of the time they answer, or Summer says she'll call me right back 6 hours later. No, I'm just kidding. I have to tease her. I have to tease her because her just a second, you never know what just a second is. Can you define just a second for me? I'm just teasing Summer. But these two are incredible. They have been with me every step of the way. We've had so much fun together. There's a lot of shenanigans, but they will show up for you. They will look you in the eye and say, "We will help you do this." You guys, you can't do this alone. This takes every single one of us working together, locking arms together, moving forward in the same direction to make this happen. It's not one person. And so I am so grateful for Rob and Summer. They're currently in Kentucky, which is amazing. I need to get out there and see their property at some point because the pictures probably don't even do it justice. But they're from Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, they're from all over the place, but they're from Las Vegas as of right now. And tonight they're going to be sharing with you the opportunity of LifeVantage. So I'm going to introduce Robin Summer Smollack.
Hey guys, hope you're doing. I was just informed that I'm going to do this. So good to see you all on the call tonight. Holy moly. Yeah, this Eastern Standard Time thing, I don't know, when we're Pacific Standard Time most of the time, it's a little bit different. So it's good to see you all on tonight. Man, 30 minutes for an opportunity presentation, huh? This is how it started out, guys. I'll just tell you a little bit about my background. I came from a medical background and then a entrepreneurial background. I was in medicine for about 10 years, hated it. Then I became an entrepreneur. I've had 30 companies in 25 years. I have now sold them all. And the whole time I was building those businesses, I kind of destroyed my marriage. I was divorced after 19 years of marriage. The same year that I was divorced, I was paralyzed from the waist down for about 4 months, and my oldest son died in my arms. So 14 years ago was not good for me. I became a very angry, bitter person. And about 9.5 years ago, this doctor ran into me on the Smith River outside of Great Falls, Montana. Now, at the time, I had 11 companies, 400 and some employees, and a TV show. And I was super successful. I mean, financially, but emotionally, relationship wise, it was horrible. And most people wouldn't know that. I kind of hid a lot of it. And so when this doctor walked up to me on the riverbank, he just asked me if I'd be interested in being his business partner. Like, who does that? But I knew who he was when he introduced me. I personally did not know him, but I knew who he was. I knew his daughter for about a year. And they had a cabin not even a quarter of a mile from where I was filming my TV show because it was an outdoor show down the river. So he just got on a horse and came up the river to meet me, the chance that I would be there. And when he got off his horse and walked towards me, I mean, I didn't know who this guy was when he first was walking. And then he introduced himself. Like I said, I knew who he was, but I did not personally know him. And when he said, Rob, I'd just love for you to be my business partner, I was like, what do you got? Like, I'll look at anything, guys. I'll look at opportunity. Why is that? Because I've read and I've seen for many, many years that about once before the age of 40 and once after the age of 40, something amazing will come into every one of your lives that will completely change your life, especially financially. The problem is there's only about 1% of the people in the United States can retire at the age of 65 and live a life of bliss. What's going on with the other 99%? They either don't recognize opportunity, or for the most part, they let fear and doubt keep them from going after their dreams and goals. This is why, guys, you can't blame it. I don't have any money. That is a horrible excuse. Like horrible. Every one of you guys on this call has a cell phone. You know how many friends that I have that built multi-million-dollar businesses just off of their cell phone? There's a junior high school that we live fairly close to in Las Vegas. I have never seen a junior high school kid without a cell phone. My 8-year-old daughter's begging us for a cell phone right now, and that ain't gonna happen. But man, if you've got some guts and you've got some just drive behind you and want to get out of your comfort zone, this is not a shadow of a doubt is for you. Because listen, guys, if you're say 35, 40 years old on this call right now and you're not set up financially, and maybe you've made some poor decisions or some stuff that's happened to your life to where you're like, man, Rob, I'm just not doing good financially. What I'm going to share with you tonight can change that in 2 to 5 years. Can literally change that in 2 to 5 years. If you're willing to do the work and you have some ambition and teachable. If you don't have any ambition and you're not teachable, you can get off the call now because you probably won't, it ain't going to help you. It's not going to help you if you don't have any drive or ambition and you're not teachable. And so when he said he had something on PubMed, I pulled out my cell phone because I didn't want to be his business partner. I mean, I was going to look. This is why I was going to look, guys. He knew who I was. I knew him, but I personally didn't know him. He knew I was successful. He was giving me an opportunity to look at something that he wanted to share with me that was obviously some kind of business. I wanted to tell him no, but I wanted to be sure that I did my due diligence and I had the facts before I told him no. I didn't want to say no, even though I didn't like him right out of the gate, because I didn't want to look stupid. I didn't want to look foolish to him in case this was something that I've been looking for my whole life from a financial standpoint, as far as a business goes, an opportunity goes. And to tell him no before I had all the facts is just pure ignorance. And I didn't want to be look stupid. And so I pulled out my cell phone. This is going to be my excuse, and I'm going to shoot this guy down because I went to PubMed.gov and I said, "What's the name?" Because he said he had a product on PubMed. I said, "What's the name of your product?" Now, I didn't know it was a drug. I didn't know it was an antibiotic. But when I hit search and he told me what it was, 16 studies came up. Guys, studies done. No, I didn't look at the studies, but I skimmed by who did some of the studies, like Harvard, Ohio State, the American Heart Association, the National Institute of Health, LSU, TCU, VCU, Duke, Washington State, Oregon State. Guys, those are some of the most respected medical universities and institutions in the country. This is what I love from an R&D standpoint, a business standpoint. They were spending millions of their own dollars to prove what this one product was doing from a medical standpoint. And by the way, it was an all natural product. To this day, I've still never found an all natural product by name on PubMed.gov. Now there's around 30 with this one product. So he got my attention. I didn't want to show him that he got my attention, right? Because I posture everybody who comes down to business. I don't want to get all giddy, but I was kind of excited when I saw that because I thought, man, I never heard of this product and I never heard of this company. So I thought maybe timing is good because if you don't have timing in business, don't even look. Don't even look. If timing is not there, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your money. And so I said, Doc, and I was filming my TV show right when he pulled up. So I said, Doc, is there anything else you could tell me about your company? I got to go. I'm busy. I'll get back to you in a couple of days. He goes, well, if it helps, I am publicly traded. Guys, I was more excited about the publicly traded thing than the PubMed thing was because now I know he can't lie to me. If he would have lied to me, I would have ate his lunch. So I asked him for the stock ticker. I wanted to research his company's financials. I wanted to see if it was global. I wanted to see how many employees, about how many employees they had, where it was located, blah, blah, blah. Not really much about the product. I mean, whatever, product schmatic. But I wanted to know more about the business and the financial aspect of it. He gave me the ticker. I shook his hand and started to walk away. And he goes, Rob, I need you to watch an ABC Primetime Investigative Report. Why? Well, the doctor was making some medical claims about that product that you've seen over PubMed.gov, and those claims are pretty far-fetched. Like, pretty. I would have not looked if he would have told me what they were researching this doctor for. If they would have told me that this doctor found something that would reduce oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days, I wouldn't even watch the ABC primetime. There was nothing out there that was even a fraction of a fraction of a fraction close that would do that. And so that's why I watched. So the ABC News sends John Kanis down to Colorado to interview Dr. Joe McCord, who's been nominated for the Nobel Prize in Medicine 4 times, basically for what I'm talking about right now. The last recipient of the Elliott Crescent Award in 1997. That award has been given to like the Wright brothers, Ford, Madame Curie, Robert Salk, right, the inventor of the polio vaccine. People that made amazing contributions to the world and society, and especially the U.S. Franklin Institute, that's Benjamin Franklin, is the Elliott Crescent Award. He was the last recipient in 1997. For the last 29 years, it hasn't been squat. I knew who McCord was. I knew he was doing some stuff, but I didn't know what he was looking at. So I watched. And they kept drilling this guy and they kept bombarding him. And finally, he just said, let me prove it to you, basically. They literally left his office complex where he was at and walked across the street to the University of Colorado. They went up into an independent lab and they stuck a needle in his arm. Guys, they were just doing a blood test. They were doing a T-bars test. You can get that blood test in most hospitals in the country. It measures your oxidative stress levels in your blood. What are T-bars? Right? It's just that blood test that can do that. What's free radicals that are causing oxidative stress? Those are the toxins that are coming in your body. Millions, trillions a day attack your cells. And what they do is they're killing you over time and they're causing oxidative stress. What's that? It's our aging process, how we age. Right? If I bite an apple, sit on the counter, what color is that apple tomorrow? Right? Brown, oxidation. That's what happens to our body from the inside out. I knew that. Medicine known that. Medically, globally, everybody knew that. But there was no way that this doctor found something that was going to really even reduce that just a little bit. Even just a little bit. So they keep going through all this. They do the test, blah, blah, blah. They do the baseline on John Canos, and it shows he's way up here at the top of the graph. When the lab tests come back, they turn a computer screen, millions of people watching, and it shows he's way up here. I was higher than him. I guarantee you I was probably higher than him. Still learning how to walk. Sometimes I still had to use a walker. I got 6 rods holding my spine together. My mom was newly diagnosed with breast cancer a few months prior, so I was stressed to the max on that. I was still dealing with my divorce and what I had to shell out for that every month for 7 years, and my son's death, and 400 and some employees. And I just bought a laundry detergent company out of Reno, Nevada. Like my oxidative stress levels were through the freaking roof. And then they gave him that all natural pill. It's got 7 US patents and international patents and said, take it once a day for 30 days and come back and we'll retest. He leaves and comes back in less than 2 weeks. They redo his T-bars test, turn the computer screen, and it shows that it decreases T-bar levels. You guys, the oxidative stress levels by 45% in like 12 days. Unheard of in the medical industry. Globally, unheard of. So I got excited when I saw that because I never heard of the company and I never heard of the product, and I would have done anything to recover quicker because I didn't think I'd ever walk again. Dealing with all of that. Plus, I'm an entrepreneur. And I thought there's got to be timing here. I have never heard of this company. First thing I did is look at the stock, right? Because he gave me the ticker. I looked at the stock. I researched all of that. So I was excited when I saw this. I said, Doc, I'm going to do this. I watched that. And as soon as I saw that, I called him back and I said, can we meet tomorrow? He goes, where? I go, Helena. Helena, Montana's about halfway from where I lived and he lived. I walked into that bar. It was a bar I met him at, guys, a sports bar. It was across from the college there. And I walked in and I have 5 questions for him. If I'm going to buy a company, look at even invest in a company or take over a company, which I've done all three, this is what I'm going to look for. The first thing I asked him was, how many employees you got? And he goes, I don't have any employees. Guys, I had over 400 and I was ready to kill half of them every day. Second question, what's your inventory? He goes, Rob, I don't carry an inventory. I had over $500,000 worth of inventory just in my clothing company, not counting my other 10 companies. Like, oh my God. He goes, no. I go, what do you mean you don't have any inventory? That's crazy. The National Institute out there did about a 10-year, $10 million study. When the end of that study was completed, it said this is probably one of the only products in the world proven to extend life. And you can legally say that to me. You should have, I said, you should have warehouses full of this stuff. You should be a billionaire, is what I told him. He almost lost me when he told me he didn't have an inventory. I thought that was stupid. But then when he said he had a distribution center that handled all that for him, I'm like, you don't even touch the product? He goes, no, the only product I touch what goes in my body and on my body. Man, I don't, guys, those first two questions when it came to business, if you don't have to have an employees and I didn't have to have an inventory, third question, you still have overhead? He goes, of course I got overhead. How much your overhead? He goes, oh, about $100 to $200 a month. I had over 200,000 a month overhead. Stress to the max. So those three questions right there, I was hoping to find a way to tell this guy no, but those three questions there, those were like an A plus for all three of those questions. Fourth question, well, how many hours a week you work in this thing? I was hoping he was going to say 20 to 30 because I did not have that. I was sleeping about 3 hours a night for almost 15 years. Beyond sleep deprived, but I'm a go. I just go, go, go. And he said 5, 6, maybe 7. And he said, I did a little bit more than that, Rob, my first few years, but I'm getting close to, I'm 60. I'm getting close to 60, and I want to sell my medical practice and retire by the time I'm 60. Guys, he did do that. All my years in medicine, I never even met a doctor to retire. Now I know there's doctors that retire, but I personally never knew one. So you got all those questions, those 4 questions. He answered them. Oh my God, I did. They were so good. It was so good. And I said, well, this is a part-time gig. Then how much you make in a month? And he goes, I don't know. I make around 10 grand. And I was going to cry bull on that. And he pulled out a legal document, had all the numbers on it. I looked at the date. I said, do you see the date right there? And he goes, yeah. I go, the maximum incomes, minimum incomes, average incomes, and even the far right column, the average time I took to get to those incomes. He goes, yeah. I go, if any of these numbers are off by even one number, especially the numbers to the far left, the millions and hundreds of thousands of dollars numbers, if they're off by even one number, somebody's going to prison. He goes, I know. I go, because you're backed by the two largest investors in the world and the two largest banks in the country. And oh, by the way, you're debt free. He goes, I know. I go, then put somebody else on the phone with me because there's no way you're making 10 grand a month doing this on your own. I mean, guys, I made way more than that, but I was killing myself and I couldn't even maintain a relationship and hardly knew my other two sons. He called the guy in Cleveland, Ohio. Guy gets on the phone with me. He's 6 years younger than me. I'm competitive. I am so competitive. This guy comes on 6 years younger than me. Ask him the same 5 questions. Inventory, overhead, how many employees? All about the same answer. Fourth question, how many hours a week you putting into this? I don't know, maybe 10 to 15. More in the, more in the beginning of my first 3 or 4 years, more there. How much you make a month? Guys, it was way more than $10,000 a month. Way, way more than $10,000 a month. And when he said that to me, I asked him 2 more questions because I know in business you will take a hit. I don't care what business you do, you will take a hit at some point. And I thought, this company takes a hit. Does this guy got my back? Because he's a pretty big deal. And this is what he said completely changed my life. He goes, Rob, listen, your medical background, that would be a pretty big deal. But your business background, he goes, I've seen 2 products from 2 of your companies just in Cleveland in the last few days. He goes, I know you're successful, but I'll be honest with you. If you don't want to be our business partner, I could care less. I've made more money almost every month since I've been a partner in this company. And guess what? I didn't even know you 5 minutes ago. That made me mad when he said that. He attacked my fragile little ego. I didn't like him for it, but then he said, but I do have one thing that I think you truly want, and I honestly don't think you'll ever have it. I go, what's that? He goes, time. I go, what do you mean time? He goes, well, I kind of do what I want, when I want, wherever I want, with whoever I want. And you'll never be able to say that with over 400 employees, Rob. Matter of fact, you only say that with 2 employees, so good luck with that. I'm here because of that conversation right there. He told me what I needed to hear instead of what I wanted to hear at probably one of the lowest points in my life. I didn't like him for it, but I respected it. I respected it. Why is that? Because he told me what I needed to hear, where everybody in my entire life was always telling me how amazing and awesome I was, and I was screwing up all the time. And I even knew I was screwing up. And that's why I'm here. I didn't get in for the product and I didn't get in for, I was making as much money as he was. I didn't get in for that. I didn't even care if I woke up the next day, so the product didn't even really interest me. I was going to put my sons and my mom on it for sure. I was going to take it, but I didn't even care if I woke up next day sometimes, guys. I just saw something that maybe if I learned how to do this the right way, because when I did my research, I saw it's the second highest paying profession role behind professional athletes. And over 80% of the women in the United States that make 100 grand a year or more do it in this industry. So if I thought if somebody could teach me how to do this the right way, and I could do a system or something and teach people how to do it, and when I could actually become a giver instead of a taker my whole life, maybe it would change my heart because I had no heart almost 10 years ago. It was ripped from my chest. It was not even beating. My two sons used to call me the Grinch that stole Christmas. That's why I joined. And I told this doctor, I said, man, this sounds good, but I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to go run around hounding my friends to buy products from me. I am so burnt out from sales. I mean, I've been selling in 30 companies in 25 years. I was a selling god. I got so burnt out with people and employees, and I was angry and bitter. And he said, Rob, did I try to sell you anything the last 2 days that we talked? And I thought about it. And I go, no, you literally just shared information with me. He goes, that's all I want you to do. I go, share information. He goes, yeah. And I go, how? He goes, tell your story. Guys, I told you a little bit about my story. Company story. I told you a little bit about the company story. And so then just tell them how they get paid. How do I get paid? Guys, I get paid almost every day. In the beginning, they're not. There's about 7, 8 different ways. I don't know. They change, but there's about 7 ways or so you can get paid every month. So there's upfront money, middle money, and back end money. That upfront money is pretty cool, right? I get people involved. I get paid. I get a customer. I get paid. Like you can make money right away. See, in conventional business, that don't happen. Yeah, it does, Rob. I opened up a store and I started making money right away. You got a loan to open up that business. You either bought it from somebody, you borrowed it from a bank, you borrowed it from mom or dad or whatever. Until that loan is paid off, you ain't making money. You could say you're making money, but if you still have debt there, you're still in the negative. I was in the positive my first day in this business. I got a few people involved in right when I said yes. I was already there. Now that doesn't happen all the time, but oh my God, if you compare apples to apples, I've never seen another business even come close to this, especially with the overhead and the employees. Just think about it. Like I've had many, many companies. My cheapest business, guys, I ever started was $178,000, and that was a fast food restaurant. Did you know my investment in this business for $999? We have two executive positions in this company. Go look at the income of that when you look at that financial disclosure statement. That's freedom. The day my daughter was born, about 8 years ago, my wife Summer retired and walked away from a $150,000 a year job at the age of 39. I sold all my companies but one by the time I was 52. We've been free ever since. But the guy that I met that taught me how to do this the right way, Marcel Niederhauser, we met him in Montana. He came up to teach a bunch of us how to do this. And when he was done, we had questions. And he said, listen, I will help you guys do this. I will teach you how to do this. But Robin Summer, once you two get what you want out of this, all I ask is, will you please continue to pay it forward? We pay it forward 7 days a week. I love doing what I do. People ask us all the time, why do you guys still do this? We don't need to do this. We could live an amazing life. I do not have to do this. But this gave me my freedom, and this gave me my heart back, and this gave me my little daughter. My daughter would not be here if it wasn't for this business. We would not even be together if it wasn't for this business. And the thousands of friends that we have all around the world I wouldn't even know if it wasn't for this business. We owe everything to this opportunity and to the Building Depth group and the mentors that were a part of it. Why would you say no to this? Honestly, you can get in as low as like 200 and some dollars, a 3, 4, 5, 999. Why would you say no? That product, the only product in the world basically proven to extend life, that's going to reduce your oxidative stress level by an average of 40% in 30 days. Why would you say no to that? You want to age faster or slower? If I just help you make $200 a month, that's literally like us helping you put about 48 grand in an investment with a return of 5% this year. What if we help you make about $400 a month? That's like us helping you put about $100,000 in an investment with a return of 5% this year. You get that, right? That's powerful. That's more powerful than punching time clock money. Why is that? Because once that money's coming in month after month after month, and that income's high enough that all your bills are paid, and you've got a little extra to play and some extra just to keep investing to create more assets, not liabilities, you're free. That's possible with this compensation plan. That's possible in 2 to 5 years to be totally free. Don't you want that? Oh, Rob, it's not for me. So you're telling me you don't want to make more money? That's bull. Everybody I know wants to, I know billionaires that want to make more money because after a while, it's just a challenge. But for most of you, you should make some more money. Just, I don't care if it's just a couple hundred, two, three, 400. That's life changing for most people that I knew when I got involved in this. It's still not for me, Rob. You don't want to feel better? You wouldn't like to slow down your aging process? You want to die faster? Maybe take away some aches and pains, sleep a little better? You don't want, no, Rob, I would love that. Okay. And you don't want any time with your family. You absolutely hate your time, your family. You don't want to have any more extra time with your family. Rob, I'd love to have more time with my family. So this isn't for you, but you want more money, you want to be healthier, and you want more time. I just shared with you how to get all three, and you tell me this isn't for you. This is what I know when people tell me that. They're either too embarrassed to don't tell me they're broke and they don't even have $225. And if you're on this call and you're 18 years old and you don't even have $225 to start your own business to change your financial future, you got to rethink what you're doing financially. If you're over 40 or 50 and you don't have 225, holy crap, you need to buckle down and that you need to do this. You can get $800 by giving blood in Vegas. If you want something bad enough, you'll find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse. If you want to change your life, you got to change something. You got to change the way you think. There's so many on this call that are here to help you do that. Why would you say no to that? Fear and doubt? Man, I get fear and doubt, but I'm scared to death thinking, okay, I'm going to work until I die because that's what's going to happen to most of you on this call. 35% don't even make it to 65. They die before they get there. The other 60%, they literally work until they die. The 5% retire. Only 1% lives a life of bliss. The other 4% are still living on a very, very fixed budget, still struggling, still this, still that. They don't live the kind of life that we live. Why not just hunker down for 2 to 5 years and get this dang thing done and go live the life that you've always wanted? To me, that makes sense. See, if something happened to me tonight, or my wife, or both of us, say something happened to both of us, my daughter and my two sons walk into a massive monthly income. This is willable from generation to generation. As long as this company is afloat, that income is willable from generation to generation. Why would you say no to this? I love you all. You guys have an amazing night. Get with the people that got you on this call. You only need a few people because with those few people, we can put thousands. Get with the person that got you on this call and get those questions answered. Get those concerns answered. We'd love to have you as a business partner. We'd love to help you go change your life. And Candy's going to show you how to onboard because I think the onboarding is as important as them signing up to show them how to do this properly right out of the gate. We start that duplication from the second you say yes. So I'm going to turn that back over to Candy. Thank you guys.
Oh my gosh, was that incredible? Does that just make you okay? If you're already a part of the company, you want to sign up again, right? And if there's any guests on the call, you're ready to go because that was incredible. Thank you, Rob. Um, I want to start a little bit. I didn't share my whole story, but I want to share a little bit of my story and I want to share what I remember. I always want to remember where I came from and I want to help you guys understand the process and maybe it will relate to some of you when I first started because this was all new to me. When I said yes to this 6.5 years ago, I was a registered nurse. I had been working as a nurse for a lot of years. I have 4 kids. But I was exhausted. I was exhausted. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I wanted something different. I also wanted a different way to help people because I didn't feel like I was helping people in the way that I was meant to help people. So when I saw this information, I thought, oh my gosh, if this is real, this is going to change the world. If this is real, this is going to impact thousands and thousands and thousands of people. What if I could be a part of something that's bigger than I am? What if this is real, right? And I kept asking myself, and I thought, but I was scared to death. And do any of you feel that? Do any of you feel the fear of what that feels like? I mean, I think we all have experienced that when it comes to doing something new. I remember when I graduated college to become a registered nurse, and my first day on the job, I felt like I knew nothing after years of schooling. Is there anybody that can relate to that? It's like I walk in there and I feel like I know nothing and I have to learn how to take care of people and I have people's lives in front of me. And I was so scared to do that. But you guys, I showed up every single day. And because I showed up every single day for year after year after year after year, I became a really good nurse. But I didn't start like that. I had to actually apply it. I had to do the action to become a good nurse. I wasn't going to be a good nurse from the schooling. I could have gotten a 4.0 throughout all of my schooling, which I didn't, but I could have. That doesn't make me a better nurse than somebody who didn't do that, right? So when I started this, this was all new for me. I had never been a part of the industry before. I had no experience. Honestly, I didn't want to be a part of the industry because I had a lot of friends and family members that were a part of this industry that I just saw something that I didn't want to do. Not that it was bad, but I saw a lot of people, that they were out there selling products to friends and family. They were having these huge parties at their house and they were selling products and they were spamming people all over Facebook. And there was people hiding from them because they're like, oh, they just want to sell me another thing of makeup, whatever that looks like. So for me, I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a salesman. I don't want to have parties at my house. I don't want a whole garage full of inventory that I'm never going to use. I don't want to lug around a suitcase full of inventory. But I needed to educate myself on the industry. I needed to educate myself on what we do here because I didn't see Rob and Summer were the ones that shared this with me, and I didn't see them doing that. So this already was looking different. I also had Summer who shared this information with me, who she could tell that I was scared to death. But she was like, she looked me in the eye and she said, we're going to do this together. She said, you're going to lean on me for my belief. You're going to lean on me for my testimonial, my story until you develop your own. And all I want you to do is get good at getting people in front of this information. Say less to more people. And I thought to myself, like, I just wanted to vomit in my mouth. I was like, you want me to invite my friends to listen to this, and I don't even have my product yet. I just said yes. I just submitted. I just paid for the business pack, and you're wanting me to already share this? Like, no way. I'm not doing that. Did any of you feel like that? So, and she said, yep. She said, we're just going to reach out to 2 or 3 people and we're going to send an invite. It can be whatever you want it to be, but be excited, be authentic. You know, I they were teaching, Rob and Summer at the time were teaching, I have a project I'm working on. I want to get your opinion on it. So that was, I think, one of my first invites. One of my second invites was, I am scared to death. I have no idea what this is, but would you talk to my friend that I just met an hour ago for 30 minutes? Like, you guys, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. But I will tell you that I was so afraid to invite. Like every single invite that I sent, it took me hours to send it. Can you guys relate to that, or am I the only one that struggled with inviting and still struggles, right? We all struggle. That's like the hardest part. Once you get good at inviting, you can build a massive organization, but it's definitely a skill set that you have to practice every single day until you get better. And if you're not doing it, then you're not going to get any better. But you guys, Summer and I did 20 to 30 meetings in the first 10 days because I just started sending out invites. I had no idea what I was doing. I can tell you that if Summer would have sat down with me and if she would have gone through all of the back office, and if she would have clicked into all of the tabs, and if she would have walked me through the app, like I would have felt so overwhelmed because I already felt overwhelmed by the fact that this was something new. I already felt overwhelmed thinking that there was a million Zoom calls a week because that's how I felt when I started. I know there's not. But when you go from never being on a Zoom call in your life to all of a sudden a bunch of Zoom calls, you feel like there's a million a week. Has anybody ever felt that way? There's not. There's a couple that are really awesome and very relevant, and I'm so thankful you guys are on this call tonight. But for me, it was just keep it simple. That's where I'm trying to get here is just make sure that you keep it simple for people when they start. When a brand new person says yes, I'm just going to say to them, let's reach out to 2 or 3 people that you love and care about, and let's share this information. We're going to do it together. We're going to send the invite together. I'm going to help you respond to them together. We're going to send them a Zoom link. We're going to jump, or we're going to meet them in person, or we're going to call them, whatever works, or we're going to FaceTime them. You guys, it doesn't have to be one way or another. I would say kneecap to kneecap is the best. If you can get the person in in person is going to be the best. Zoom is next best, or a video chat if they don't live in the same state or the same town and you have to do a video chat. We're going to jump on the call. You're going to have the brand new person is going to introduce you and say, "This is my friend Candy. I'm really excited right now. I don't even really know why I'm excited, but I'm really excited. I don't know a lot about this, but Candy's going to share this information with you." And all you have to do is let the person that enrolled you take control and share the information. That was even hard for me. You guys, I don't know if you've heard Summer's story, but my very first Zoom call, I couldn't even introduce Summer. My cousin jumped on the call and I couldn't say, "Summer, this is my cousin Jackie. Jackie, this is my friend Summer." Nope, I didn't have any words. I just muted. I let Summer take over the call. I started shaking. I was in my car. I will never forget this because I was in the Subaru parking lot in Helena, Montana, getting ready to drive to go over the McDonald Pass to head towards Missoula. And I was shaking like this. And all of a sudden, my phone jumped out of my hand. And I like seriously felt like I was going to pass out. My lips turned blue. I thought I was going to die. Were you guys that scared to do a Zoom call? Like, that's the most ridiculous thing ever. I think about it now, but I had so many calls that I was so afraid. But what I realized over time is the more I did it, the easier it became. The more invites I did. I remember after that call, Summer called me and she said, "Well, did you die?" And I said, "Well, almost." And she said, "No, you didn't die." And she said, "Do you think that you could do that again?" And I said, "Yeah, I think I could do that again." And we just did it over and over and over. You guys, if you don't get those new people started right away in their excitement of reaching out to two or three people that they love and care about and doing those meetings, preferably in the first 24 hours, you may lose them. They may let fear overcome them. They may not ever send an invite. We got to get people success quickly. We got to show them that this is possible, that they can do it, that this is worth it. They can do it. Anybody can do this. But if we try to wait until a lot of people are like, "Well, I just want to know more before I start. Well, I just want to start the products. I just want to experience what I'm going to feel like with the products. I just want to jump on a couple of Zoom calls and I just want to learn more." Do you guys have people in your organization that 4 years later are still jumping on Zoom calls to learn more, but they haven't invited anybody because they're scared to death? If we could have got them to invite and got them success in the very beginning, maybe that would look a little bit different because that part is so scary. So, you guys, I don't want you to overcomplicate it. I don't want anybody to think that you need to know everything. You guys, I've been involved in the company 6.5 years and I have so much to learn. There is so many things that I don't know. But what I do know is that I care deeply about people and that I want people to succeed. And if you make other people's dreams and goals your priority, I promise you, you will have success in this. But we need to grab a hold of our new people. You guys, you got to hold them. We got to remember where we came from. That is so important that you got to grab their hand and walk through the process with them because as a brand new person, you have no idea what's going on, right? You are the expert. When you sign up your first person and your second person and your third person as a consultant, even though you've only been involved maybe a month, you are the expert in that situation. You're becoming a leader. You know more than that brand new person on the call, right? So, and if you don't feel comfortable, then you need to reach out to your actively building upline to help you so that we can grab a hold of all of these new people and help them get started the right way. Because I promise you, you won't get the confidence and the belief without doing the action. You have to do the action. If you're not doing the action, that's when the fear comes in. That's when the doubt comes in. That's when you start not believing. That's when you become paralyzed and you decide not to do anything. But if you wake up every single day and you make a decision to reach out to one or two people to share this information with, I promise you, if you stay in action, all of your other problems will go away. I mean, I'm not saying that you won't still have problems because we all still, life's on everybody, but it's going to be a lot easier to handle. There's a lot of things that are just going to roll off your shoulders because you're going to be excited. You're going to be focusing on the positive. What you focus on grows, and you're going to be helping the people that want to do what you're doing right now. Does that mean that everybody is going to build this? No. Not everybody's going to do this. Not everybody that signs up as a consultant is here to build this business. You guys, some people sign up as a consultant so because they want to be a part of a community. They're living life on their own and they just want to be a part of something. Some people sign up because they just want to feel better. They just want to be on these products and they want to be a part of the community. Some people sign up because they want to create another stream of income. Some people sign up because they want more time in their life. Some people sign up because they want all of that, because this will literally open up your world to a world of people that you never knew existed. Have all of you met you? Like, why wouldn't we want to bring more people into this community? Because do you all know how amazing you are? Every single one of you on this call is a gift. And when we all come together, we can shine that much brighter. Think of all of the people right now in your life that are praying for you to share this information with them, that would do everything to be a part of this community. This would be an answer to their prayers to be a part of this community. I am so thankful for Marcel Niederhauser and Blue Elam and the Building Depth executives who have taught me. Robin Summer, I am so thankful. Like, that they, when I started this 6.5 years ago, I always tell people I was born into the building depth community. Like, I didn't know any different. That I was taught from day one the 5 principles and behaviors on how to build this business. And the 5 principles and behaviors are share this. Number one is share this with 15 or more people a month. Number two is attend all of the events. Number three is always do what you say you're going to do, be a person of your word. Number four is stay in control of your business. And number five is promote. With that, you guys, those 5 things work together. If you're not doing one out of those 5 things, that system doesn't work. But I thought to myself when Summer and Rob were teaching me that, and the building depth community, when I was learning that, I thought there's no way that such a simple system of following that system and working 5 to 10 hours a week for 2 to 5 years, I could be an executive in this company. I thought there is no way. There's got to be other nuggets. There's got to be, like, tell me the actual secret, Summer, because you're not telling me the secret. Rob, okay, tell me the secret. What's the secret? Because you guys are just holding back. He's like, what is she talking about? But that's how I used to feel. Do you guys jump on these calls sometimes or you attend the event sometimes and you're like, there's got to be something I'm missing. There really has to be a piece I'm missing, and I promise you there's nothing that you're missing. You just follow the 5 simple principles and behaviors, and then there's skill sets that you have to learn along the way. What are those skill sets? You're going to have to learn how to invite. You're going to be bad before you're good, and you're going to be good before you're great. Right? You want to make the invite simple. You don't want to talk about the products or the company. You want to relate to the people that you're talking to. You want to be authentic. You want to be excited. You're going to learn how to do a presentation. You're not going to be thrown out there to do a presentation on day one. We're going to walk through the process with you. And when you feel comfortable, you're going to take that baton and say, I'm ready. But even when you're ready to start sharing this information and doing your own presentation, guess what? We're still going to be here with you every step of the way because we're still going to do this with you. You guys can't do it on your own. We need to have third-party validation, and all of the pieces of the puzzle fit together perfectly when you start to understand it. We also, when then you're going to learn how to follow up. You're going to learn how to close. You're going to learn how to overcome obstacles. And all of those things you guys are going to be taught to you on these building depth calls. So again, we're going to have calls the first and the third Tuesday. Write this down if you don't know these. The first and third Tuesday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time is the building depth call. The first one is the topics call done by all of the executives within building depth. And the second one is a circles call. And then on the second and fourth Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, this is a new call. So make sure you're promoting this. You guys promote this to your teams. Get people, if you can promote this system and promote these calls and promote the events, you guys, it will build your business. You get people in front of other people, and that system will start to build your business. Do you guys have what's the next event coming up? Every conversation that you have this week, every conversation that I have this week, I'm telling people we have a LifeVantage Academy in Helena, Montana. It's going to be done by the amazing Chris Smith, who is flying in from Liberty, Utah. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, the 16th. You got to be there. And guess what? You got to bring guests because I will tell you that every single guest that has ever come to those meetings enrolls and becomes a consultant. 100% of the time, I have had 100% enrollment with people who show up to those events. That's why it's so important, you guys. So get good at the art of promoting, get good at promoting these calls. I mean, we have 54 people on this call, but don't you guys agree that we should have 2 to 300 people on these calls every Tuesday? Like, we got to be promoting more. If we all agree to bring one more person every single call, to bring one more person, we should have 2 to 300 people on these calls. So I hope that that helped you. I'm not going to take up too much more time. I hope that that helped all of you guys. I just want you to keep it simple and realize that you can do this. Anybody can do this. Reach out to the person that invited you to this call if you want to get more information, if you're ready to go so that we can help you get started. If you're already an existing consultant and you're ready to go, let's talk about just getting some invites out because that's the answer to everything, isn't it? Summer, go find five more. And how do you find five more? Well, we got to send out invites because if we don't learn the skill of sending out invites, we can't grow a business. So I love and appreciate all of you. Thank you for spending time with us tonight. I hope that we all added some value to you, and I hope you have an amazing night.